Every 4 years, 48 national teams and billions of viewers lock into a system that handles global travel, massive stadium operations, and a broadcast seen by half the planet. But in the early 1900s, international football was entirely unorganized. You had leading clubs from England and Scotland playing isolated matches, but there was no central body to evaluate these teams or crown a definitive champion. The Olympic Games tried to fill the void, but they restricted the pitch to amateur players. This kept the world's best professional talent sidelined, making the tournament feel more like a suspicious exhibition than a true test of global dominance. To solve this, FIFA president Jules Rimet willed a professional tournament into existence. In 1930, he directed the first World Cup to Uruguay, anchoring the event in this massive, newly built stadium in Montevideo to prove that international football could match the scale of the Olympics. The logistics immediately broke down. Traveling across the Atlantic Ocean during the Great Depression was an enormous, costly hurdle for European sides. Only 13 teams made the trip, revealing that the ambitious new system was dangerously fragile. The tournament began as a vulnerable experiment. To survive human nature, shifting geopolitics, and massive growth, it would require nearly a century of continuous emergency rule redesigns. The first major crack in the system appeared before the players even took the field. FIFA had to figure out how to mathematically engineer a bracket that could survive global politics. During the qualifiers for the 1958 tournament, political boycotts in the Africa and Asia zones created a gaping loophole. The withdrawals allowed Israel to advance all the way to the final stages without actually playing a single qualifying match. FIFA deployed an emergency structural patch. They wrote a new rule mandating that no team could qualify without proving themselves on the pitch, forcing a special playoff match between Israel and Wales to close the exploit. The geopolitical pressure only intensified. In 1966, the entire African continent boycotted the qualifiers to protest a bracket that allocated only one single spot to Africa, Asia, and Oceania combined. This diagram shows how FIFA ultimately resolved the tension. Instead of hoping for global participation, they had to structurally engineer it. They expanded the rigid 16-team bracket, adding dedicated qualification branches for African and Asian nations to ensure the tournament's scale matched its global claims. Once the teams arrived at the tournament, a new exploit emerged from the schedule itself. Because group stage matches were played at different times, teams playing the final game of a group knew the exact score they needed to advance. The breaking point for this flaw occurred in 1982, during a match between West Germany and Austria. This table breaks down the math. Because Algeria had already played their final match the day before, West Germany and Austria knew that a 1-0 German win would give both teams enough points and a high enough goal differential to advance, knocking Algeria out. Once the Germans scored early in the first half, the actual competition ended. For the next 80 minutes, the players casually passed the ball back and forth, running down the clock without attempting a single meaningful attack. Since 1986, the final 2 matches in every group kick off simultaneously. This removed the information advantage, but it created a new kind of tension. Because teams can no longer see their opponent's results in real time, the standings shift every time a goal is scored in a different stadium. It turned the final whistle into a high-stakes calculation, where a single score can instantly flip the entire bracket. By 1990, the tournament faced a stagnation problem. The historical rule awarding only 2 points for a win heavily rewarded teams for playing a gritty, hyper-defensive style to secure a reliable draw. This chart shows the mathematical patch FIFA applied in 1994. By increasing the reward for a win from 2 points to 3, the relative value of a draw collapsed. FIFA shifted the risk-reward ratio to make aggressive play the only viable strategy for advancement. The incentive shift worked immediately. The 1994 tournament saw a resurgence in attacking football and shattered attendance records with nearly 69,000 fans per game, proving that the math could dictate the quality of the spectacle. But as broadcast revenue swelled into the billions, a final vulnerability remained: the cost of human refereeing errors. In a billion-dollar era, a single missed call was no longer just a mistake, it was a financial catastrophe. To eliminate phantom goals, FIFA introduced goal line technology in 2014. Referees were equipped with sensors, providing instant, mechanical verification of the ball crossing the line. 4 years later, they integrated the Video Assistant Referee, or VAR. This allowed off-field officials to review fouls using multiple camera angles and synchronized footage. To protect a global event from the volatility of a single missed call, FIFA moved to replace subjective judgment with high-speed sensors and a digitized paper trail. The 2026 World Cup will push the tournament's logistical scale further than ever before, expanding to 48 teams competing across 3 major North American nations. This level of scaling is only possible because the rule set has been ruthlessly stress-tested over decades. Every tiebreaker, the 3-point system, and simultaneous kickoffs are scars from a past crisis, a political boycott, or a blatant attempt to cheat the standings. The competition evolved from a fragile 13-team invitational plagued by travel costs into an undisputed, technologically enforced pinnacle of global sports. The World Cup dominates the globe because of the football played on the pitch, but the system itself survives because its creators spent 100 years engineering the perfect tournament to contain it.